everybody. You got a glimpse of the Writers React intro there. Which I think we need to schedule one for November, guys. So be on the lookout. We'll see what there is to talk about.
Have you figured it out? Oh, the new season of Percy Jackson is coming out.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait. I think we did the first season of that for scripting the book, and I think we want to do
this Writers React. That's the one where it's like gossipy, right?
Yeah, we talk about publishing stuff.
Okay. In my brain, I combined the two. I'm all like, wait. Oh, never mind.
All right. Oh, she slept. Okay. I was waiting. I saw you pop in, but you were like, oops. So I was waiting. Hello, Chandra has made it. She said she was going to be coming in hot, and she was. She made it. We are going to be missing Esther tonight. Our study buddy needs to rest up and take good care of herself, and we'll see our study buddy Esther next time. In the meantime, we're going to be doing Brandon Sanderson's lecture number 9, talking about world building on Earth ? So we're going to do quick intros, and then we'll do a quick chat about what we anticipate for this one, and we'll just dive right in. So take it away, Becca.
Hi, my name is Becca Smith, and I have a YouTube channel. I'm a writer, but I'm actually really excited for, even not that I haven't been excited for these, because obviously he's one of my favorite authors, but now that I've decided to finish my YA high fantasy in November, now it has a whole new I mean, not that I couldn't get the great tidbits before, but now it's all like, ooh, this is also going to be mood building. Okay, I'm getting in, and hopefully bring up some. I mean, of course, it's the one that's on Earth, and mine's like a high fantasy and another, but I'm still thinking I'll be able to get some good stuff out of it. So I'm excited.
I just want to say, first of all, Becca left something really important out, and that is her upcoming book.
Oh,
yes.
Grandma's little secret. Don't keep it a secret, Becca.
That's secret. I know, and your book too.
I do also have a book coming out called Mother Mercy. And I'm Chandra Arthur, by the way, just slide that in there.
Yes.
I'm in the spirit of world building as well, because I've been thinking about that during the editing process. I kind of have that as my carrot right now. It's out here, and I'm just holding on to that as I power through the last bit here. So I'm really looking forward to more on world building.
Yes, you guys are part of a publishing trio coming up here. Very exciting.
I know.
So I can't wait. That's very, very exciting. And you are here.
All the pressure. I feel like all the pressure is on me.
It's fine. You're amazing. It's amazing. You're doing amazing.
Yes, you are.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh. You're here on my channel. I'm the vixenoffiction all over. I publish short stories at the moment, but I have been working on a sci-fi comic book, a sci-fi middle grade, and a high fantasy. So I have things in the work. Who knows if we'll ever get there? We will get there. Don't say who knows if we'll ever get there. We will get there.
Yes.
I also want to say, I'm just in the spirit today. Y'all be selling yourself short. You already have some stuff out, and I know we're coming up to the holidays, and you have a holiday romance.
Yeah.
I do. It's so fun, and people seem to really like it. It's got really good ratings. So it is the short story. It's the modern day world, which is our world of what my actual fantasy novel is. In the previous world. So it's what the fae creatures are living and hiding on Earth, and they're up to mischief. It's fun, it's romance, but their past is pretty traumatic, but they live here on Earth now in hiding, and they just are a little mischievous.
Talk about world building.
Yeah.
I have literally 3 worlds for this.
Oh
One
my
is that they're living in this modern world where we humans don't know that they exist. And then the previous 2 worlds are where they were literally just trying to save us humans from ourselves because we are the worst.
We're the worst.
We are the worst. Like we tried. We're gonna do this all over again.
Yeah. Oh,
So I have a lot of fun. I have a lot more ideas than I will ever have time to write. I'm sure you guys can relate.
yes.
And so yeah, Brandon's one of my favorites. Oh, surely for his ability to do this incredible world building. Obviously, it's something that I find absolutely fascinating.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how do you do it? Coming up with the magic systems and the worlds and intertwining the worlds, but also they're separate. I'm like that. Yes, I love it.
Yes. I know, it's my favorite part. I mean, that's the funny part. It's like I said, it's like this was the first time I've watched his lectures, but I've obviously been like a huge fan for years and read most of his books. So I appreciate what went into the books as a fan. So now it's nice to hear him break it down of how he does it also.
Yeah. And I've listened to them all, but as a podcast where, you just put them on, you're just kind of like listening and just taking it all in, like, ooh, that's how he did that. This is my first time like sitting down and taking his class like it's a class. So it's a whole new world and I'm enjoying it. So I actually got to get my notebook and stuff out. I got everything ready and didn't get my notebook.
I got mine.
And we have a couple of friends hanging out with us. Hello, Deidre, and hello, Tiffany. We are back. We have technically we've got 3 more after this, but Becca and I have been talking about combining, seeing if there's a way we can combine the publishing ones.
Yeah.
Because we've all kind of like been there. So I don't know if there's new information. So we might just breathe. I don't know, because I haven't seen this one. So, I'm sure he's updating a little bit.
We could just watch them just for the thoroughness of it all, but
yeah. So we can pick it apart like, that doesn't work anymore.
I know.
What? Did you know about that? I didn't know about that. For that aspect of it.
I think maybe my hope for that would be that he does seem to mentor and work with a lot of people who are going through things that he's been through a while ago. And it seems like he has taken into account other people's writing opinions and expertise. So he has throughout the series recognized that his success is not typical necessarily. And he's been really good about setting expectations about what can happen. And so I'm hoping it'll get into a little bit of that and like, if you're dealing with this, you should talk to this person or like look for somebody who can help you with this, things like that.
Yeah. And I'm thinking since he's done the Kickstarter and has seen how things go on the indie side of things, that he'll have more, and especially like with the audiobook situations, that he'll have some more information for us is what I'm hoping.
Yeah, look at us.
We'll see. I'm so into the world building stuff that I'm like, publishing.
I know, but now that you brought up the Kickstarter, if he brings that up, that would be fascinating to me, because that was like something that just totally unexpected, that took indie publishing to a whole different level, because it kind of legitimized it for a lot of people that maybe didn't think much about it. There's like, self-publishing, whatever. And then when like somebody like Brandon Sanderson comes in and he's all like, no, it can be much more than that. It can be actually like fan service. You can actually like make gorgeous copies and people will, and my God, the man made like, what did it end up being? Like 60 million or something?
Yeah, it's crazy. Yes, I bought into it because I got those.
Oh, me too. They're right there. They're literally right there. Yeah.
Those books are, look at that. They're right up there.
Yep.
They're gorgeous. They're gorgeous.
They're
they're just so pretty. And honestly, I love Trust.
Yeah.
I love that story. It's told in a way that I love storytelling. So I ate that one up. I just loved it. So are you guys ready? So we're going to be talking about world building on Earth ?
I love how you always
which works for me, even though the 2 things that actually the sci-fi, it does have some earthers on it in my sci-fi. There's people from other places, so it's relevant. And then, of course, my fantasy takes place on a past Earth. So we'll see. We'll see.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, all of my fantasy sci-fi books are on Earth, different
Yeah.
versions of the future and things like that. So, yeah, so I'll be interested. Yeah, no, I mean,
Yeah.
it's
And I feel like even when we do something that is in a different world,
Mhm.
it's a different world relative to what we know of Earth, how we interpret it. So
Yeah.
I think it's no matter what, it's going to be very relevant. So I'm interested to dive
So
into this one.
this is not Sanderson at all. There's an author, his name is James Allen Gardner, and he does sci-fi. And if you haven't read anything of his, I definitely would. There's I think it's called the Descending series. I have all of them in paperback. Most of them are out of print, so I got
Oh,
them secondhand. But after this world building, if you want to see some of the most creative, unearth-like Earths,
mm,
then I would read his books 100%.
Ooh,
and it's
definitely
Fantastic
interested.
sci-fi.
Ascension? You said Ascension series?
I think the first book is Ascending. I can send it to you in
Oh, yes.
or post a
Oh
link in
yeah.
the chat so everyone can take a look at the first book.
Perfect.
And what was his name again?
James Allen Gardner.
James Allen Gardner.
Mhm.
Excellent. I will definitely look into that. So I'm definitely something that's right up my alley. Oh, has the timer been going? Guys, back it up, back it
Whoops.
up.
Whoopsie
Whoopsie.
doodle.
All right,
Okay, so
guys,
it's
get
the
your
League of Peoples series, but I'll put the first book in chat.
Okay.
awesome. Thank you, thank you. All right, if you don't have the video pulled up already, why? Oh, it probably is pinned. I just can't see it on.
It is pinned, yes.
It
Yeah.
is pinned. Okay, I just can't see it in StreamYard, and I'm like, now do I need to go back to YouTube?
Oh.
I'm like, I don't have to have my YouTube open because I already did it. Now I'm like, but I can't see it. But okay, so I don't need to open my YouTube. I always do that thing where I accidentally have it double playing. I come back and then I hear it, and then I have to find the tab.
Right.
And
Oh.
so if I don't have to pull it up, that's better. So it is linked, guys. Go ahead and pull it up. The timer is going to play at regular speed. So if you do speed Brandon up, because you're used to hearing it faster, you're just going to finish before we did. We're going to be at this speed, maybe.
Oh.
Maybe. But if you do, you can always, if you need to take like a potty break or a drink or snack break, you'll know where we're at, so you can catch up. Or if you finish early, you can hop back in and know where we're at. So if you need to speed up for just a little bit. So, but to know that we are going to be playing the timer at regular speed and allegedly watching Brandon's video at regular speed.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. All right. So if you guys are ready, go ahead and get your videos up. And I'll give us a 3 countdown in a 3, 2, 1. See you back on the other side. All right, has everybody finished the video, or are we almost there?
Yeah, he literally just was like, okay, if there's no more questions. So I guess that was a little.
All
Yeah,
right.
I just finished up.
Okay, because I had to speed up a little bit because I went back to catch a name of something, and then I was like sped up, and I'm like, did I speed up too much? Oh no! So
Just like 30 seconds. Whatever. Yeah. We missed him saying something. No.
Guys.
Oh my God. No, I think he literally was saying like, okay, if there's nothing else.
So the question mark was because this is like his Q&A. So I was like, that would be why. So it's a world building Q&A. That made sense. As soon as he said, I was like, that's the question mark.
We figured it out.
All right. So what did we think? I will say I always like to get students' questions because a lot of times they're along the line. I'll find questions that I also had, and I'm like, oh yeah. And he rambles sometimes, so sometimes he'll say something. I'm like, oh, I didn't know that, and I can just jot it down. And sometimes it feels very random, but I'm like, it's something that I just want to make note of. So I enjoy the question and Q&As. So what did you guys think of this one, this Q&A on world building?
It was good. I mean, I absolutely loved when he was all like, no book can be all showing. Like,
yes.
Because, I think that's the thing sometimes when you give your book to for people to beta or like whatever, and they've been just trained in their brains, like show, don't tell, show, don't tell, show, don't tell. So like, that's the stuff they point out. And you're like, I totally get that. But this is also a form of character and like attitude, and like his perfect example of like the guard is nervous and then his character's all like, wait, should I be nervous? Like, I love that I eat that stuff up. That's this kind of stuff I like to write. Like, yes, I am telling you that this person is this, but then I use it to build character of like, my character's reacting to that, and that's showing like. And so I think the nuances sometimes are missed when people are reading things critically, and like I said, they're always trying to help, but like sometimes you have to be able to have, I like that he said there needs to be a combo of both. It just
I made a note of that too, because I totally agree. Because sometimes when it's all showing, you're never telling. There have been times where I feel like I'm lost in the minutia at this point. I'm like, where are we at? Can you just tell me something? Because I feel like we've just been kind of like floating in an ether. And sometimes a lot of writers do like to use a lot of very beautiful words. And I'm like, that's wonderful. I love beautiful writing, but sometimes you just need to tell me, like, ground me a little bit. Tell me where we're at a little bit. And I learned when you're writing short, sometimes you do have to tell, because when you're writing short and you're like, okay, this needs to be novella length or a short story length, like a 2-hour read or something, how many words you have. And I'm like, I don't have a paragraph to show this, when I can literally just say it and use those showing spots where it's more important. Exactly. And, sometimes I'm like, oh, I wish I had more words, but I really don't. I'm like, I need to narrow this down. So I've got to make decisions on where I'm telling and make it so that it flows in the story.
Right.
Or I think a lot of that too is like when you get into world building, where he was talking about you don't have to tell everyone what a wormhole is and how it works. And when you tell people that they have to show everything, now, like, the first time you mention we're going to travel by wormhole, they feel like they have to tell that whole thing, versus just saying we're going to travel by wormhole. You'll see it when it happens.
Yeah.
And
the only thing, as a sci-fi reader, the only thing I need to know about your wormhole is if there's something unusual from what we see as a wormhole, as a vortex that takes you from point A to point B like that, or if sometimes it takes a little longer. But the only time I need to only describe it if there's something strange. That's all. Tell me a strange thing.
And I mean, in that case too, you have the probably more experienced character saying, "We're gonna travel by wormhole," and then your main character's like, "Oh, I'm nervous," and
Yeah.
then, you know,
Yeah.
and then something happens, and then they're like, "Does that always happen? I didn't like
Right.
that." And you
Yeah.
get to have
Exactly.
that interaction. So I feel like, yeah, the whole show don't tell is so overused and misused that it was good to
Yes.
hear him break it down and into
Yeah.
levels of like how you might receive that.
Yeah, just to
Exactly.
kind of
Yeah.
just like a relax people, like, you know, you gotta like write your story and, if there's a section that maybe you could show that would work better if you
Mhm.
showed it rather than tell, of course, you do that in the edits, but like a lot of times I just don't think I think again, like we talked about, it's just so drilled in like new writers and like just everything you hear, everything like, you know, courses and everything.
Describe everything,
It's
make
like,
me
yeah,
feel everything. I'm like, do you really need to
it's
feel
like,
everything? Just
yes,
sometimes
yeah, like and
just tell me it's a thing.
some things you should like, yeah, I mean, but yeah, I just liked that. I thought that was good. It's like, yeah, there's no one way to do it, and you got to just sort of trust yourself and trust your process and just don't get too in your head about it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But that's
Tiffany, our friend.
also why you so like focused on, before you even take this class, before you get into those writing resources and like other books, have something to work off of, have some kind of
Mhm.
Yeah.
process of your own that
Yeah.
you can build upon.
Yeah. Our friend Tiffany has a couple of good points. She said, yes, the word count. I'd love to show everything, but sometimes I don't have 4 paragraphs to describe a living room or a kitchen. And she says, I find readers can get bored with too much description.
Mhm.
They just want you to get to the point. Yeah.
They're already
And I can be that person sometimes if you're like going on and on about something. I'm like, I get it, it's lovely, and I'll do that scan thing. Okay, now we're back to some
yeah.
action. So sorry, so sorry. And
It's a
so I understand that
counterpoint
people do it
though.
to me. Yeah.
He mentioned Andy Weir and The Expanse, which I've read all of The
I
Expanse.
love. Oh my
Absolutely love
gosh.
it. There are times when there is that much detail put into a scene or a setting,
Mhm.
Mhm.
but why?
Yep.
We care about exactly how big the hab is in the the Martian because we know what
It's
is
in,
tied to that. We need to
yes.
know exactly how much
Absolutely.
oxygen there is, how long it's going to last,
Yes.
what he's going to have to be doing, like
The Martian
the
is one of
mistakes that
my
he
favorite
makes.
books. It like everything is it's like the detail that I used was so pertinent because you feel like you're in there, like if you were in Martian, so good. Uh,
Immersive.
you feel like you're in this situation, so you're like, it's almost like when I was reading that, I'm like, I feel like I need to know how are we going to survive this, okay? So
Yeah.
I know what this is, but tell me how we're going to use this thing to live. You know what I mean? So the detail in that,
Mhm.
excellent example, excellent
Yeah.
example.
I did also crack up at 5 minutes 30 seconds when the person he was speaking to said, "It makes me so angry."
Yes.
And I felt that. There are some things that it's like TV and stuff too, where you see someone
Yes.
doing an aspect of your job and you're like,
Mhm.
We don't do that.
no,
We don't do
no,
that.
incorrect.
Yes. So that was when we were talking about, because I actually wrote this stuff down. Getting things wrong um, is easier when it's in the real world because there are going to be those extras, especially. And he was so right when you're talking about something like World War II. The World War II experts that are going to hear that your book has something to do with World War II and just
Mhm.
pick it up because that's their fascination. And they're like, what? No, the B-52 bombers didn't do, and they didn't fly there. And no, if you get it all wrong, but you rooted it in that this is the facts, that this is where we're at, unless you're saying that this is some alternate universe of that, they're gonna they're gonna just be like, no, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, and you're gonna see that in those reviews because they're gonna be
Yeah.
telling you all about it.
And I think that, I mean, that is a big fear for any author, I think.
Mhm.
You worry about that, but that's also what he was saying. It's like I think it's very transparent to go through. Here are some of the times that I've gotten it wrong. Here are some of the times where I
Mhm.
could have done it better. But I do appreciate that he specifically called out the cultural appropriation of
Yes.
religions
Mm-hmm.
and why that's offensive and how careless and thoughtless it can be. But I think he did it very tactfully. I know I'd have
Mhm.
been like, look, just don't, okay? That's
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
to point out how it would be obvious if someone did it to you
Yes.
absolutely.
and you would call it sacrilege and you would be right to be
Be
upset.
angry. Yeah.
Yep.
So
Exactly.
that was I'm glad he mentioned that. He also made me want to go back and start reading The Wheel of Time again.
Yeah.
I do.
I
Okay.
Oh,
I
sorry.
think I was on a reread of that, and I think I stopped at book 2 just because I realized how many more I had to
You're like,
go.
oh, oh.
I am somewhere in a reread of The Wheel of Time.
I I'm currently rereading the Grant County series. I've been reading a lot of thrillers just
Oh.
for reasons. And and like I've already been through, I think there's 7 books in the Grant County series, and then there's 12 in the Will Trent series. And they are back-to-back series.
Okay.
Um, but I've read them all before, and they're just so good, you know?
Mhm.
And sometimes it's like you go back to something because it is so good. There are so many of them that it's like reading a new book, but it's a book that I know I'm gonna enjoy.
Mhm. Yeah.
But even in those, I still, occasionally find something and I'm like, well, this was written how long ago? Of course things have changed. Of course we
Right.
know more than we knew at the time. Of course there's some inaccuracies, but is it enough that I don't still love the books? No.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna eat them up. I'm still gonna throw them at everybody, be like, "Here, read this."
Yeah, and maybe if you had read them like now or something like that, it's interesting because I think we talked about this before about like TV shows and movies where it's all like, oh my God, they're so problematic, but they're
Mhm,
still just like I mean, obviously some are too much, right? That you
mhm,
can't even watch it with new eyes because we've come a long way actually in a good way,
Mhm.
our society. But some of them, yeah, you kind of just are like, it was the time. Like if it's not too offensive.
right, but
Yeah.
I think too, what Sanderson was saying can really help you out there because is it the author saying this thing or is it the character? And I
That's
think, where he was talking about horses and he doesn't know horses, so he has a
yeah.
character who hates horses,
I like the
and
bonehead. Yeah, the bonehead character.
Mhm.
yeah,
That's a
and
really
Yeah.
good tactic.
using that, if you
Mhm.
make a mistake and everyone knows that your character has a flaw and maybe their flaw is this mistake. Like they can have more than one, of course, but it's like
Yeah, I like that
if
too.
you tell the story through the characters, truly through the character's point of view, then you worry less about the mistakes because it's clear that the mistakes belong to the character, not to the author.
Right.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
you have to go out of your way to be like, yeah, that was me.
Yeah. I also liked the question about when you have a POV character who's very, very unique from the rest of the characters, how do you, and they're the POV, how you get them to just to basically describe themselves, because I think we've all heard the don't use the mirror
Right.
because it is a thing, like I am a black woman, so if I don't wake up every morning and say I look in the mirror and I'm a black woman, I don't do that, so
What?
so you know what I
Why
mean,
not?
and so
That's
it's
the
true
first thing
because
I
we
do every
Yeah,
day.
I mean,
yeah
I go, I am
I
white.
I am a black woman with my dark hair, my dark brown eyes. We don't do that. So I'd always heard, "Don't do the mirror, don't do the mirror."
Well,
But I think
I,
if he's right, if
yeah,
he can find a way that it makes sense,
yeah,
or just let them say the obvious, you
yeah.
know?
I did
Mm,
do it in my first book, I got to admit. But to be fair, she was a teenager. teenager, and she did like literally all she pointed out was like, oh, I've got a fucking zit. I've
Yeah.
got like, you know, it was all
That
the
makes sense.
flaws. So I
Mhm.
kind of got it all in there. Like, and she's like, oh, I've got boring gray eyes and like everything. She just hates everything. But I described her. But yeah, I don't know, because I feel like most teenagers, when they look in the mirror, like, unfortunately, it's terrible when you think about
Yeah.
it. So,
I feel like,
I
see, and
mean,
it makes sense. It makes sense for someone who's 14, 15,
right.
16 to be nitpicking their things.
Yeah, like, oh God, I have to go
Just
to
a
high school.
teenage girl would do that.
Crater on my freaking,
Yeah.
exactly. And so I have done it before, but it's just, and I didn't know that that was like a thing I had no idea that that was
Yeah.
like a thing that people
I
don't.
when
didn't know
it's your
till I started
first
talking to
book,
writers. Yeah.
No, but like it's funny how things like
every
today years old is when I knew that was like a thing that people don't like or do. You know, it's kind of like finding out when people don't read prologues, although that was funny that he brought that up. I was
Yes.
like, yes, we
That
found
was
that out through AuthorTube.
Yep. I'm like,
Yeah.
what do you mean people skip a prologue?
Yes.
My thought is there's probably something I need to know in there.
I
Or a
mean,
backstory
Really
or
gotten around to
something.
Brandon. Like I feel like like this
I
is
like how he beats us up with that, but also at the same time, I paid for that book. I'm gonna read
I'm like,
every word.
I just never even thought it was a thing. I always read everything. Like,
yeah,
you know, I even read like the author's note after I've read the book because I'm always afraid they're going to give away stuff in the book.
yeah.
So I'll always wait to read like prefaces or like author's notes or like anything like that that's the beginning of the book. I'll always wait. And usually I'm really glad I did, because they'll be like, oh, when I was writing this scene, and I'll be like, oh my God, if I would have read that first, that scene would have not had impact.
And
Do you
that
know?
the fact that more people actually read the ending, the only time I will skip to the ending is if I'm feeling anxious about a character death. I
Yes.
feel like but not first thing. I don't go to the ending first thing.
I'll
Oh my
usually
God, that
Google it
blows my
before I look at it. Like I
Yeah,
won't read
if
it.
a pet,
Yeah.
like with the what's the one with the don't speak, the no speak movies where there's the cat. I'm like, does the cat die? That's all I need to know
100%.
before I go and watch this movie.
I did that with what was the movie with it was like an end of the world movie with I'm blanking on his name. Gods and Monsters or Monsters, and anyway, there was a dog, and I'm like, we need to pause this movie. You need to look up and see if the dog dies, because I'm not going to watch it any further if that dog dies. I'm just not. And I think it was Love and Monsters, and it's with Dylan O'Brien. And so just so everyone knows, the dog lives.
I need to know these. I need to know these things. Like, so if I'm reading a book and I get to a point where I feel like, okay, I'm getting really invested, but I have a feeling, I might try to like just peek, just because I'm like, I need to prepare myself if this character isn't going to make it.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't really do spoilers. I'm like, don't spoil me. I want to be surprised.
That's funny because that's how I know I've given up on a book, is when I'm so irritated mid-book. I'm gonna finish it. Don't get me wrong. I will absolutely finish the book. But I'm gonna start reading reviews in between as I'm reading.
Okay.
Because I'm finding like I'm commiserating with people
Right.
by
You're like,
reading their
the
reviews.
same things I'm seeing, kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I've also had that where like I read a review and someone was like, this was stupid and I hated da 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 da. And I was like, oh, I think I'm coming around.
Yeah.
I think I would like that.
Oh yeah.
So true. One thing that I found odd though was that, and it makes me think he actually did not read it, because first he goes on this thing about how he doesn't like that his agent recommends the book, like how to write a book that sells or whatever it was called.
Oh, writing to sell.
Yeah, writing to sell. He's like, I don't think, and he kind of gives this little speech, which I agree with, hey, you should write a book from your heart. You shouldn't be writing it just to sell it. And then he says he likes Save the Cat, the screenwriting version. And I'm all like, that is exactly the message in that book. That's the only message. You are writing a book that you want to sell. Like, forget your passions, forget everything. Right. So I'm all like, you didn't read that screenplay book.
So I think he said I think there was another one where he said that Save the Cat is all right, and I think he just says it because it's one that everybody knows.
He specified screenwriting in this one, and I'm all like, he didn't read it. He is full of crap.
I thought that Save the Cat was just like generally a screenwriter's, because I read it, but it's been a while. But I just assumed that it was like a screenwriter's use this, but you can use it to write a. Oh, I didn't.
No,
apparently I was not paying attention.
Save the Cat screenwriters is like considered a joke in the entertainment industry. Like so much so, I think we talked about it. The Coen brothers wrote a movie making fun of it. It's the John Goodman movie. Like they literally have this character save a cat in the beginning so that you'll like him. And then they make him the most despicable character to ever be on screen.
Wait, what movie is this?
I forgot the name of it, but it's so funny because you're just like, at first you're like, oh yeah, he saved the cat. He's a good guy. Like, I love him. Like, and then they just twist it the whole time until the end where he is literally the most.
Like, you can't stand him.
Yeah, he's horrible. He's just like the most horrible human being. And it's so funny because that's like their way of going like, listen, you can't say things. It doesn't.
I made a note. I'm taking that as homework.
Like, I need to find this movie.
I can find out the title, although it's probably not hard because I don't think the Coen brothers, I think they've only made like 10 movies or something, but yeah, and because the thing is that the messaging of that particular book is very similar to the Right to Sell. It's like, this is the kind of screenplay you need to write. This is the kind of story you need to write in order to sell a screenplay. And it's not even accurate, but it maybe at the time when he wrote it. But if you're just looking for a book on how to write a screenplay, Sid Field's the standard in the entertainment industry. Yeah. So it's like, people just know, like, okay, if you just need something to get yourself started and you just need to, finish something and, do it in the proper format, proper, structure, everything like that, then Sid Field's the way to go. And there are a couple others that are great, but like, yeah, Save the Cat has always been known as like this, like, it's like the, whoa, what are you going to sell, kind of thing. And it was just funny that he had literally just said, I don't like that Right to Sell book. Like,
I didn't hear exactly. I can't remember exactly what he said, but I thought he said some people like Save the Cat more, it's an example.
Well,
yeah,
but
it was like a throwaway to me.
Screenplay thing. Yeah. Whereas Save the Cat, the novel one, is actually, I've heard, very useful for.
Yeah,
I haven't.
I've heard people like Save the Cat writes, and I hear more about.
I read that. That's the one I read.
Okay, you didn't like it?
It wasn't that I didn't like it. It was like a recipe that I did not want to follow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, the screenplay version is very similar. So yeah. But I've just, so many people on AuthorTube like live by that book for books. And so I
give people a I don't want to say formula, but if you need something to go by, almost like beats to follow, then that's there to help you out. But I kind of more agree with what he says. 90% of it, 90% or more is like your habits. And just like a lot of what he's doing right now with these classes, it's because I've written stuff that I can see where this would help me. Let me try this. This applies to what I do. That's not going to work for me because I've been doing the writing. And I think that he's right. If you're like, I want to be a writer, let me sit down and take Brandon Sanderson's class.
Right.
I think maybe there might be a couple that, but you're just absorbing information more than actually finding things that actually might be useful to you.
That's a drink from a fire hose.
Yep.
Yeah, if you've not done anything, and I mean, I think that I maybe said that about some of the writing books that I think, On Writing by Saul Stein may have been one that I read.
Oh, I thought On Writing was Stephen King.
There's several people who have their own.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, On Writing is kind of just a title for a writing book, but it's like On Writing by by me, like I could have my own on
gotcha.
writing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But here's how I tell if I'm going to read the book at all and take any of the advice in it. It
Yeah.
has to be very early stated in the book. These are ideas.
Yeah.
The primary writing advice is to do what works for you. Try
Love
a lot of things, throw out the stuff that doesn't work for you. There are no rules. Anybody that says you have to do it this way, immediately put the advice down.
Yeah.
That's probably the only like hard and fast rule about writing advice is
I
if
love that.
someone tells you you have to do it this way, put it down, it's bad.
I
Yeah.
agree. I agree. I hate that. Like, I think that's one of the reasons why it's such a gut twist of the screenwriting version of Save the Cat, because that is the way it is worded in that book. Like, you
Mhm.
have to do it this way if you want to sell. But then you look at the writer who wrote that book, and he never, like, he sold one screenplay in like 1990 or something like that, and it wasn't even that successful. So it's sort of like, what, you're going to walk the walk, you know? But
Mhm.
like, if you're going to tell me what I need to write and you're telling me this is how you have to do it, and if you want to sell a screenplay, you have to do this, and then you haven't even done it yourself.
Mhm.
Yeah. I feel like where it works, one thing that I've read that where I think that works is like romancing the beats. And I think that the reason why it works in romancing the beats is because if you actually look at romance readers, people who like romance novels, there
Yeah.
are beats, and you don't have to follow the things, you don't have to follow them exactly, but there are things that romance readers look forward to. And so I feel like as they're reading the book, their emotions are going, it's like not placebo, more like it's like oh, why is it slipping my mind? But they're anticipating these things. So there are certain things that romance readers anticipate as they're reading the book. And a lot of people are like, oh, we're so sick of the third act breakup. However, when people are actually reading the romance novels, it doesn't have to be an actual breakup, but they like that thing that happens that kind of gets in the way. They like that.
Yeah.
And they look forward to it. And I think because everybody's like, oh, it's so cliche. It's so cliche. But if you don't have something like that, they feel like there's like a little womp womp to the romance. It's like, okay, so they're just together.
It's
Oh,
the
wait.
third act conflict, and
Yes,
there
make it a
has to be
conflict.
something.
Yes, it doesn't need to be a breakup, but I think because it's often done as a breakup, everybody's like, oh, a third act breakup. Here we go. I'm like, but it needs to be a third act something, because we're looking forward to what is that thing that's going to cause the problem. We're like, start to be like, no, they've got to be together. We know they're going to be together because it's an HEA
External forces.
romance. We want this.
External forces are so powerful, and as far as romance goes, I'm gonna say, if you've read the Empyrean series of Fourth Wing, it's in there. Yeah. And the way that it's done is really, it moves the story
Mhm.
a lot, and it's not just like, oh,
No.
really? So
Oh yeah, it's completely like weaved in where you're like
Yeah.
waiting for it, and then at the same time, I mean, it's done like, which is wild to me, because I think I talked about this before, because it is definitely written in a very voice wise, very YA. So I thought it was a YA book, and I think, did I tell you this, that I read it with my mother?
Oh no.
oops.
And then we got to the erotica chapters, and I was all like, and my mom's all like, "Oh my!" I'm just like, I had no idea, because it's written style wise like a YA, 100% YA.
I think it's a good thing though, because it is helping carve out a new adult
Love it.
niche.
Yes.
Love
Yes.
it.
Yes.
Because
It
so
was
many people
defeated.
struggle with that, where they have, and for me especially, like with Grandma's Little Secret, it's like I wrote the child chapters in a YA middle grade voice, yet it is still an adult horror. It's just that the perspective for her chapters is she's a child, so I'm not going to write it like an adult horror.
It's still it's her young POV.
Yeah.
This is still not for children. This is not a middle grade book.
But books like Fourth Wing have really set the stage and opened up that idea that no, this is not YA. You can still write in this style because she's a young person.
Mm-hmm.
And that is totally fine because that's the style and the vibe, and I want you to feel like you are in a young person's head, but that still doesn't mean that this is a YA book. And I am for it. I am so happy because I feel like that needs to happen because everyone gets stuck in this like rut of like, well, now you can't even say things like that because it's YA and you don't want to go, and it's like, nope, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, I do appreciate that.
Yeah.
I think as far as the writing recommendations, I am pretty hesitant. So when that question came up, I was like, "You're okay, okay." And so I feel like the answers, I do like Stephen King's on writing, but I think also a lot of it is like, here's what works for me. Again, throw away everything that
Yeah.
doesn't work for you. These are ideas. Try a lot of stuff. Bye bye. You know.
Yeah.
And I think it's good because of that. But the practicing part is really so much of it. I think if you were to describe the process of writing and the process of learning to write, they are the same. Is that you have to write something first before you can edit it, and your
Yeah.
whole improvement process is the editing of your writing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah, I would like to hear more about Scene Sequel. He talked about Mary Robinette's Scene Sequel. So if I ever go through all of his Q&As that he does, the add additional, I would love to hear more on Scene Sequel. Because I sometimes when I'm doing the writing myself, I know it's not boring, but I call it the boring parts, but it's where you ramp up so much and then you do need those breathers. I tend to like to write all of the ramp up and then the boom, and then I'm like, let's just make a note. Things calm down, conversations happen. Now let's so I would like to delve in more about because you do want, just because they're the slower moments, you still want them to be interesting and entertaining. And so there's finding that balance and how long or how short they need to be. Because I have read things where you feel like you're on 100 the whole time and you almost don't feel like you have a chance to catch up, and it can be just a bit much. You're like, I need a break from the book. And the reason why you need a break from the book is because you never there's one book, and it was just like one bad thing after another. I'm like, there's never a win, there's never a breather. And I was just like, and I'm like, am I the only one? Because it's the and I don't want to say what the book series is, because she kind of like stopped, because apparently I wasn't the only one. It started out, the first book was a banger, but it was kind of like that. But then when you get to the second book, you realize it just never stops. They never win. There's never a win, and it's always like you get like maybe the first paragraph or the first page of the next chapter is a breather, but it immediately goes into the next bad thing that happens. I'm like, I'm exhausted from reading this book. I'm depressed. Like nothing good. Dude, they never have a win. We're always at 100. You think you've got a break. They're just walking through a shop. Nope, there goes the danger again. And here we go. And something bad. They've lost something else that they need, or somebody else dies. And I'm just like,
yeah, I wouldn't like that.
This book is exhausting. And then the second book happens, and you think that you've got a good guy, and then all of the good people turn out to just be bad and betraying. So as bad things keep happening, you're like, why do bad things keep happening? And it was just so exhausting.
I need to know what this is.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll let you know. I'll let you know. I need to actually look and
hours.
see if she ever did the third book, which might be giving it a little bit
Like,
away.
The Riser Saga by Becca C. Smith.
No. It's not the Riser Saga. It's not the Riser Saga.
No, I have the problem of making, which I love, but some people don't, is I like making my characters OP. I just do. And I know some people don't, and like, but it's just like, I'm sorry. If you're gonna read my books, just my characters are always OP.
Oh, I like a Sophie character. That's fine.
So they win. They win a lot. They lose a lot, but they do win a lot.
You can lose a lot, but give me some wins like every single time. I'm like, there is never a win.
Yeah.
I'm like, how are any of them still alive?
I'm gonna have to jump off of here because someone is giving me the ears and the.
Oh my God! You see me going down
yeah.
for the
No, I
table?
didn't.
That on my leg. Like, if we don't go out soon.
Yes.
They all got us on a schedule.
You saw him, he kept rolling around up here. Like, do you not see me? Do you not see me? And then he's just like, he's plopped on my foot. The one where I sprained my ankle. Like, you're going to pay attention to me.
Yes. Snake is literally right here and like looking at me like I am the biggest jerk on the planet.
Like how long this was the longest sprint ever. And now you're still talking.
The ears just like popped up.
Called it, guys. The pets have called it. The pets are saying that's it. All right,
so funny. All right. We'll listen to our animals.
Loki is like, can we go now? He's speaking for the cats now. He's giving our cat energy. Yeah. There you go. With some cat energy. He's speaking for the cats. He's like, the cat said it's let's go. So thank you guys. We will be back in a couple of weeks, back on a Monday, with some more. And we'll talk about all the things. We are so close to being done. We'll be done by the end of November. So thank you guys. Thank you, Becca. Thank you, Chandra. Thank everybody who's been hanging out in the chat. And if you're watching on the replay, let us know your thoughts. If you've been watching the Brandon Sanderson series, let me find my outro so we can get out of here. And we're going to say goodbye with a little Loki. Bye.